Welcome back. Today on SME On Point, we feature a trailblazing young entrepreneur. The founder of Pure Baby Bee Care products reminds us of the saying that necessity is the mother of invention and how a crisis drives innovation. And she could not find help for her baby's skin condition anywhere in the public health system. So Phumzile Mthembu took the matter into her own hands. Watch her story that's edited by Portia Mogane. Stubborn eczema and other skin irritations are a norm for many babies. Finding the right product is often frustrating. That's if you're lucky to find one on the market. Mother and entrepreneur Phumzile Mthembu can tell you all about it.
In 2018, I gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, Omuhle, but then 3 months later, he started having skin irritations. And then after trying different kinds of products, I then decided that I needed to step out of my comfort zone and try to formulate something for him.
Mthembu's Pure Baby Care had to start from bottom to create a solution-based business that would help other parents as well.
I'm a young mother and I needed help at that time and I couldn't find help. So I'm asking myself right there, how many other mothers are at the very same position that I was in? Then I said, Lord, let me just go straight to this industry. Yes, there are big companies and they have so much experience, or they have many years in this business. And I'm like, I'm going in and I'm here to make change.
Through the Kemen Incubation Hub, she was assisted to develop a safe product ready for the market. Incubation Hubs are collective and entrepreneurial facilities that support the development of ideas from basic concepts into viable business ventures.
Having a product that is working, it's great, but you also need to follow regulations, and Kemen is then here to assist with that. They then put you through programs that will then train you. They pay for individual specialists that will come in and show you the formal process of actually manufacturing the product itself.
Despite her business venture poised for a great future, she is unfazed about competition. What does concern her, though, is the current state of the economy and how it will impact the growth trajectory of many business owners. She believes that government can be more supportive to businesses like hers.
We want our government to help us in terms of access to market. Like I said, when I started the product, my baby had a skin irritation and I was going to a public clinic, public hospital. I couldn't find help there. So if I then have a solution at hand, then I think it's high time government start to collaborate with us and give us a chance to then maybe purchase from us, and then we start supplying hospitals, especially government hospitals. There's so many mothers who are at the stage that I was in.
As Mthembu works her way to the top, she shares pearls of wisdom for budding entrepreneurs to also build their businesses.
We have that persistent spirit. Business is tough. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey. But once you then have that spirit of persistence, you just go on. You will fail, yes. You will have challenges and obstacles, but you then have to keep on pushing. You don't have to run. If you can crawl, just crawl. Just keep on moving.
Diabosito, SABC News, Johannesburg. Thank you so much to Phumzile Mthembu for sharing her story with us here on SME On Point. Remember that we are on Facebook. We are also on Instagram. Our handle is @SME On Point. I'd really love to hear what you think of our featured businesses, particularly also the pearls of wisdom that Phumzile has just shared with us. Please do get in touch with us, follow us, and let your friends and their friends, let everybody follow us. We have got SME stories on lockdown here on SME On Point. Up next, tough economic conditions have been a wake-up call for many, from job losses, increasing inflation, rising fuel and food prices, all which have encouraged people to be more resourceful. So according to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, many established and budding entrepreneurs identified new opportunities during the pandemic, and South Africa has been no different. Now, entrepreneurship and solopreneurs are on the rise as many venture out on their own to provide services and products on short-term contracts to create multiple streams of income. But But we have invited Tlogane Mantshidi, who's the CSI head at Investec, to join us here on SME OnPoint to give us some tips on how you can make a success of your business if that's how you started, and also if you're already in it, how to scale and how to navigate, the rough seas that you come across. Mr. Mantshidi, thank you so much for joining us on SME OnPoint. South Africa's youth have a hunger to learn. Here on SME OnPoint, we have learned that. Look at Phumzile's story, for instance. But what are we seeing with regards to how they are going, and entrepreneurs and solopreneurs? What have we seen so far?
So thank you very much for having us this afternoon. I think the most important thing to confirm is, yes, you're right. Youth are hungry to learn. But what I'm really encouraged by is the extent to which young people are hungry to learn by doing. Now, if many of these young people, irrespective of where they are, be it in townships, villages, and towns, are hustling, where they create small businesses delivering much needed, paid for services, and in some instances, even products. I mean, for example, you see spaza shops, you see hair salons, you see car wash facilities, you see tutoring operations. This is youngsters who are saying, we're going to take charge of our own destiny, and we're going to learn by doing it. It's nothing better than the MBA of life, and they will experience it as they go along.
Yeah. But
also, I think I've seen the hunger to learn when we as Investec have co-created an association with UCT's Graduate School of Business, Startup School. And there are so many youngsters who put up their hands to register for this online opportunity to learn, to just get the basic of entrepreneurship. So not only are they prepared to learn by doing, they're also prepared by putting the time aside and really go through the theoretical bits and pieces, but also explore what it means to run business.
To run a business.
I guess the opportunity for me is that whichever way they choose to learn, either learn by doing or learn through initiatives such as Start to School, this is a good ground for many people keen on running these businesses to create and grow operations that can move beyond the township, can move beyond the village. The opportunities here is where these entrepreneurs are afforded the space to make mistakes and to pay the school fees, really, and learn from a whole host of practical experiences, and importantly, grow their entrepreneurial confidence. I think that's the part.
Because that's very important, right? That's very important.
Exactly.
Here's what we have been observing with my people in the circles of entrepreneurship, is that when it comes to South Africa, yes, we start, we build, but mostly it's because we are doing it as an extra income, as a side hustle. We need to get to a point where we are moving to businesses that are for future generations, that are sustainable, not a business that you do and it gives you money now, and once you get into better employment and then you are good. Having said that, where can mentorship and coaching come in so that we start to build businesses of the future? Yes, it's well and good that, we've got businesses, they're thriving, especially during COVID, we discovered this and that, but we want to build businesses where our children are going to inherit those businesses and their children are going to inherit those businesses. Yeah. Mentorship and coaching.
Yeah, I think the first, before I talk to mentorship and coaching, is there is a difference between necessity entrepreneurship and opportunity entrepreneurship. Necessity is really to survive. And many a times we just look at what's the next easiest thing to do. And often that doesn't have the room to scale up to the extent to which you're asking for. But the other is opportunity entrepreneurship. It's really understanding that in a country such as ours, beset by so many social challenges, in the challenges themselves, there's a room for opportunity. And that's what we're going to try and help people. But coming to the point of coaching and mentorship, nothing beats it. Exposure. So we've got to encourage exposure and mentorship opportunities that help aspiring entrepreneurs see what a series of initial failures coupled with perseverance. Many entrepreneurs who've made it down this path have failed but have persevered, have pushed to achieve even more. Dedication and hard work. I can't help when I think of this is my former CEO, Stephen Costa, who's an entrepreneur in their own right. When given the opportunity to engage with young people in the mentorship and coaching kind of discussion, I can imagine him saying, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy.
Yes.
But no matter how difficult it is, just put your head down and keep batting. Now, if you're hearing it from somebody who's been down that path, even if entrepreneurship is showing you a flame or two, you actually then grow in comfort. That no, this is. I'm not the only one.
Yes, it's not unheard of
to navigate this kind of failure, and you're encouraged as opposed to being discouraged.
Right. Let's talk about what you at Investec can offer entrepreneurs that are watching us today. You had the CSI, and I'm sure there are many people that are watching us that are thinking, I could provide a service or two to their CSI programs. What opportunities are there? Let's give young entrepreneurs and solopreneurs opportunities at Investec. What do you have?
I think mainly what we've got to understand is that CSI exists to support. CSI exists either in the form of bursaries, in the form of donations, in the form of all that which we support entrepreneurs by running different initiatives. The startup school, for example, which is at no cost to any emerging entrepreneur, is a wonderful opportunity for somebody who says, I want to get a basic understanding of at least the key tenets of entrepreneurship. The finance readiness program, for example, is another, where in partnership with Outsource OCFO, we run a program that over 6 to 8 months or so, panel beats businesses and says, listen, let's look at your legal side. Let's look at your HR side. Let's look at all these other pieces that get you ready to be put in front of an investor and become investor ready. That's the kind of support that we would like to extend to many of these. And some of them, it's really to think about, how do I structure my business to be ready to gain access to market?
Yes.
So there are so many different initiatives that we say to you, before running to thinking you can raise funds, before running to thinking you can do all the things that you want to do, understand that businesses are started by passionate people who want to conquer the world. But actually, it is about laying the foundations. Of course, passion is awesome, and we must support it, we must encourage passion, but we must lay the foundation of what makes and it takes for them to succeed in businesses.
Yeah.
In structuring those businesses and thinking through those businesses. Sometimes we think we've got businesses, but actually, quite frankly, what we've got is equivalent to a charitable organization.
Yes.
I'm not saying this with disrespect. I'm saying this because until somebody says, what is your business model? What is your pricing point? You
need to understand all those nuances. Yes, certainly. You need to understand all those nuances. Setlogane Manchidi is the CSI head at Investec. He's been joining us looking at how you can make your journey as an entrepreneur, whether you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, one that is fulfilling, and knowing where to go, and knowing that when you do go through troubles like our featured business, Phumzile Mthembu says that she knew that she is going to be dealing with a lot of people, businesses that are in the cosmetics industry who are already established, but that did not deter her. A lot of times you find that what we call imposter syndrome comes across, and it overwhelms you, and you end up not starting that business. Okay, start crawling, at least start crawling. And that's the advice that we have for you here on SME On Point for this week. Remember to support small businesses in your community and also in your area. Spend the rands and cents with them. That's all for SME On Point for this week.